This video will guide you through reviewing a commercial lease agreement. Commercial lease reviews are a frequently requested service on the ContractsCounsel platform since business owners want to understand the terms of their lease before signing. If you are considering signing a commercial lease, then this video is for you. Before we start, just a brief disclaimer. The following information is provided for educational purposes and in no way constitutes legal advice. For legal advice, we encourage you to consult a licensed attorney. We will cover top considerations when asked to sign a commercial lease, key terms to find and understand in your agreement, and costs to hire a lawyer for commercial lease review. We have also added a link in the description below with information on legal fees. Now let's get started. Top considerations for commercial leases. Commercial lease agreements are legally binding contracts between landlords and tenants for the rent of a commercial property. Their terms can materially impact your business operations, so it is important to understand them. Before diving into specific terms, here are some concepts to understand. Lease types. There are many different types of commercial leases. Two main types are net leases and gross leases. Net leases are leases where the tenant pays a base rent and a portion of the property's expenses. Gross leases are where the tenant only pays a fixed rent and the landlord covers all expenses. Lease term. The duration of a lease is an important concept to understand since it means you are liable for paying rent for that entire time period. Shorter-term leases can be from 1 to 3 years. Medium-term leases can be from 3 to 5 years. And long-term leases can be from 5 to 10 years or more. Rent escalation. Commercial leases often have rent escalation built into them, and it is important for you to review this while considering your financials. Permitted use and modifications. Leases will outline what the space is allowed to be used for and what modifications the tenant can make. These are important concepts, especially for businesses that plan to use the space for business operations. Operating expenses and CAM charges. There are expenses to operate the commercial property. CAM charges are costs shared among tenants for maintaining common areas. Compliance with state laws. Real estate laws vary by state, so it's crucial to ensure that the contract is in compliance with your state laws to protect your rights. Consulting a lawyer licensed in your state can help verify that the lease is legally compliant. Clarity and understanding. Given that commercial leases often involve substantial financial commitments, it's vital to have complete clarity and understanding of all terms. Misunderstandings can lead to business failure or disputes, so ensure both parties are on the same page. Consider hiring a lawyer. It is always recommended to hire a lawyer to help review a commercial lease. They can ensure the contract is legally compliant, help you understand what fair market terms are, and coach you on negotiations. Key terms to understand. Commercial leases contain many important terms that you should understand. Here are some key terms to look for. 1. Lease term and termination. This should clearly state the duration of the lease and the conditions under which it can be terminated. 2. Rent and additional costs. This outlines the base rent plus any additional costs such as utilities, maintenance, and common area expenses. Also look for any type of rent escalation language, which may mean your costs go up over time. 3. Security deposit. This includes the amount of the security deposit and the conditions for its return. 4. Use of premises. This section specifies how the space can be used and any restrictions on its use. If you plan to use the space as retail space, it is important to understand what limitations you have. 5. Alterations and improvements. This details the rules for making changes or improvements to the leased space. If you plan to have a big build-out, make sure it is allowed under your current terms. 6. Assignment and subletting. Understand the conditions under which you can assign or sublet the lease to another party. Business conditions can change rapidly, so know your rights. 7. Insurance requirements. Leases often require insurance, so understand the insurance coverage you are required to maintain. 8. Default and remedies. Know what constitutes a default and the remedies available to both parties. And 9. Renewal and expansion options. Review the options for renewing the lease or expanding the leased space. Average costs to hire a lawyer. Hiring a lawyer to review your commercial lease is always recommended. ContractsCounsel's marketplace allows you to post your project and receive competitive bids from lawyers to compare. Based on our data, the average cost to review a commercial lease is $720 on a flat fee. This is based on 100 recent projects across the U.S. Legal fees can vary based on the below factors: state or location. Lawyer fees may vary based on where they are located. For example, a lawyer in New York City will likely have a higher rate than a lawyer in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Length of lease. Given lawyers traditionally bill by the hour, a longer lease will require more of their time, which can make the legal costs higher. Complexity of terms. If there are complicated terms in the agreement, it can increase legal fees since it will require the lawyer to spend more time working on the project. Negotiations. If you plan to negotiate some of the terms, there may be additional charges for this. Reviewing a commercial lease is critical in making sure you protect your rights and your business operations are successful. If you need help from an experienced lawyer, feel free to search ContractsCounsel or visit ContractsCounsel.com and post a job to get quotes from lawyers to help you. Thanks for watching.